welcome to this restorative yoga flow, followed by a Reiki healing sound bath with my Tibetan bowls as well as chimes. Thank you for tuning in and taking this to your mat at home in your own comfort. So I hope that you enjoy the class, and I hope that we do many more of these, especially in this time where we can support each other through healing, continuing our practices and movement with our bodies. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get class started. I hope you have your favorite pillow, whatever that looks like, as well as a blanket that you can use as props during class. I'll be guiding you with different ways that you can utilize them. Now kind of come into a comfortable seat, wiggle the feet out from under your sit bones. Start to draw down into your tailbone. Create a nice long spine here. You can just rest your hands wherever it's comfortable, maybe just on your knees. Gives you a little bit of an extra grounding feeling, which we all definitely need right now. Start to close your eyes and just tune into your breath to get started. Not necessarily changing it just yet, but taking note of where you're at. Maybe if you are taking shallower breaths or maybe deeper breaths, but just taking note. And then as you breathe, just slowly begin to extend the inhales and exhales, starting to create a little bit more of an even pace. Working your way up to a count of 4 on the inhale. Count of 4 on the exhale. And take it up to a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And an exhale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just maintaining this breath throughout the class, nice and slow. Maybe even deepening a little bit more as you get more comfortable in your breath and in your postures. I want you to be mindful of your breath throughout class. If it ever starts to speed back up or shorten, just tune back in, come back to these counts. Start first just by taking some head rolls, beginning to slowly warm up from head to tail. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. Maybe just hold here for a second. Keep your back nice and straight so your tailbone is still digging down into the ground. Your shoulders are drawn back towards the backside of the room. And if it feels good here, maybe just start to do little half circles. Rotating over to the right on your inhale, exhale down to the front. Inhale around to the other side and exhale back to the front. And continue your breath as you just take this on your own. Taking note of any areas of tension as you move. Once you start to feel a little bit more space within the back of your shoulders, you begin to create the full circles. So as you inhale, you're rotating around towards the back, lifting up through your chest, holding that long spine. As you exhale, dipping your chin back down into the front. Inhale around to the back and exhale down to the front. Continue to let your shoulders soften, your back stay long. Being gentle to your body here, just beginning to warm up. And as you start to feel a little more space within your neck and shoulders, you can start to add in a bit more of the shoulders and the chest. So as you inhale to the back, lift up through your chest. And as you exhale, start to drop the shoulders, rotate round into the front and to the side. And take that back through the center. We'll switch it out. Exhale down to the chest. Slowly rotate to the side and back. Just the neck. And begin to add in when it feels good, just starting to drop the shoulder and lift the chest, round to the front. Keep my hair at bay here so that the mic doesn't keep giving feedback. One more circle around and hold on the exhale. And start to really concave through your spine, rotate through your sit bones. And on your inhale, round through the chest. Lift up, shine your chest forward and your shoulders back. On your exhale, begin to round and curl. Inhale, start to flatten through the spine, lift up through the chest. Exhale, round and curl. Inhale, lift up and back. Taking this just a couple breaths on your own. Just listening to your own body, just gentle movements here, not too much pressure in either direction. Connecting to your breath. Go just as far as your body can move to the inhale. When your inhale is done, your movement is done. When your exhale is done, you've reached the base of this posture. Now adding in a little bit more movement with the torso rotations, starting to take full circles, using that roundness to the back and the lifted chest to the front. Still flowing with the breath, exhale to the back and inhale to the front. Take just 2 more circles here. And switch it out to the other side. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. Just drawing little circles with your rib cage. Just 2 more circles in this direction. And Find your way back to the center. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Rotate your palms to the sky. Take a nice little lift up. And on your exhale, just release your hands to the back of your head. Let your thumbs point downward so they're actually supporting your neck here. Take an inhale, lift your chest to the sky. On the exhale, round your back. Draw your elbows in towards each other. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, round and curl. Press your shoulders down on the curl. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, round and curl. Press the shoulders down. You should feel this right in between your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round and curl. Just 2 more rounds here. And last one. Release the hands down by your side. Take an inhale breath. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Just leave your left hand softly down onto the ground. We're going to reach and lengthen with the spine on your inhale. On your exhale, just start to reach up and over. You can let your elbows rest on the ground, or this is an opportunity to use the pillow if you need just a little bit more space or cushion within your arm. And try to stack your shoulders one over the other and keep both sit bones glued down onto your mat here. So if you feel that right sit bone starting to lift, just back out of the posture a little bit. You're going to be here for a couple of breaths, so make sure that you're at a level where you can comfortably take your deep inhales and exhales. Still taking at least a 4 or 5 count with your breath. It's always a good rule of thumb to hold onto your core, your Uddiyana Bandha, right at the belly button there. Helps support your spine, especially if you have any low back issues. Just keeps from arching that low spine out. So if it feels good, start to take some little circles with your hands, just warming up your shoulders. Inhaling as you reach back, exhaling as you come forward. Inhale and exhale. And switch it out. Inhale to the back, exhale to the front. Continuing for a few more rounds here. And find your arm back up over your head. Option here to sweep the hand around to your low back for support. Maybe draw your right shoulder back and open, so you're lifting the chest towards the sky. And release, come right back up. Nice job, switch it out to the other side. Reach your left arm to the sky, just rest your right hand down onto your mat. If you use the pillow on the other side, then go ahead and bring it over here for more support. Take your inhale breath, lift and lengthen through your spine. Exhale, begin to reach over. Keep your left sit bone down onto your mat. Soften through your shoulders. Really using your arm to reach towards the side of the room. And breathe. Remember to try to keep your spine nice and long rather than dropping too far down into your side. Option to take the circles. Inhale to the back. Exhale, round it forward. Inhale to the back. Exhale to the front. Letting your chest feel the expanse there. Just kind of rotating through the shoulders. Learning to work with your breath and your movement at the same time. The body loves it when you find that flow. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you compress or lower. Helps to reduce your stress, anxiety. And switch it out to the other side. Inhale to the back, exhale to the front. Find your way back over top. Take that expansion, reach the hand around to your low back for support, and draw your left shoulder towards the back of the room, just lifting your chest towards the sky if you can. If this is too intense, just go back to the regular side bend. There's no pressure here to take it any further than your body wants to go today. All right, then release it back to center. Gonna roll up and over the knees. Come into a tabletop position. You can move your pillow just to the side for right now, or if you have more sensitive knees, maybe take your blanket, just fold it into a quarter so it's a little square, fits right across your mat. You can put your knees onto the blanket that way. Come into a nice flat spine, draw your belly button in toward your spine. Press your fingertips down into your mat so you're relieving the pressure off of your wrists here. Starting with some cat-cow postures. As you inhale, drop your belly down towards the ground. Rotate your sit bones, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, cat pose. Press into your palms, round your spine, tuck your hips underneath and shift your gaze between your legs. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat, round and curl. Take this at your own pace, following your own breath. Top of the inhale, top of the posture. Bottom of the exhale, bottom of the posture. If it feels good to make some little motions forward and back as you flow, go ahead and do that as well. Just really starting to explore within your body where the kinks are. Maybe shake out your head. Just relieving any tension. Now come back to your neutral spine. We're going to rotate the fingers back toward your knees. Just getting a nice forearm stretch here. If this is a little intense, you can walk your knees a little bit more forward here. Take some of the pressure off of your wrist. And try to keep a nice flat spine, re-engage through your belly just to support the low back here so you're not dumping into your spine. And if you want to deepen the stretch, you can start to move your heels or your hips back toward your heels. Just gently until you feel a gentle pull through the forearms here. Nice postures to counteract all that typing we do, working on our phones or computers during the day. Stretching out all the tendons through that front side. And we're going to take that out and find a counter posture. So flip your palms up towards the sky on both hands. Take it nice and slow. Just find your comfort level. Again, you can walk your knees in if you need less pressure on your wrists, or walk your knees back if you're feeling okay here. You can rock a little bit side to side. Just massage the back of your hands. Or if it feels good to sit your hips towards your heels just slightly, you can create a deeper stretch into the back side of your wrists. All down the back of your hands as well. Try not to sulk down into your shoulders. Rather, continue to press away and engage your core here just to support the spine. Continue your breath. And release. Give your hands a little shake out. That was your first time doing that posture. Congratulations. It's interesting the first time that you give it a try, but it feels so good afterwards to have that release on both sides of your wrists, which we don't get to stretch very often. So make sure that you continue to do that posture. So we're actually going to stay just as we were here. So tuck the toes underneath. Keep your heels kind of close together and just sit your heels or your hips back onto your heels. If this is a little bit too intense for you, feel free to grab your pillow, place it right at the crease of the back of your knees, and then sit down. Keep your hands right on your forearm or your thighs here, just relaxed. We're going to sit and breathe for a minute or two. Stretching out the connective tissue in your toes, another area that doesn't get much love, so give yourself a little bit. This can be another one of those intense postures, just like the wrist pose that we did. So if you need to let up at any time while we're sitting here, you're more than welcome to. You can always readjust, take a break, and get back into it when you're ready. Try to keep your mind still and just breathe. Maybe focus on sending your breath into that area of tension and just helping it to create release. You do have the option also to play around with your pillow, so if you need a little extra support, you can fold your pillow in half. And this will keep you off the heels even more to lighten up some of the pressure. Just play around with it until you can find that comfortable zone where you can hang out and breathe without too much of an intense pressure. Just a gentle pressure to the toes. You guys hanging in there? We're almost done. Just another minute. You got this. This one's super hard for me. Mind over matter. You can do it. All right, we're gonna release it out. Just take the pillow out from underneath of you. Come back into that tabletop position. You're gonna untuck your toes and tap your feet down onto your mat. Ooh, yeah. And that'll help us to release it out. Now walk forward just slightly on your mat. So you're gonna bring your feet to right where they're on the blanket. If you place the blanket there for extra knee support, sit back onto your heels. From here, you wanna keep the pillow handy just in case you need it as you lay back. We're gonna do a reverse stretch. So now we'll get the tops of the feet. You can place your hands behind you and just start to slowly walk yourself back. Maybe this is as far as you go. And you're going to press the tops of your feet down into your mat and try to lift your knees up. And keep your inner thighs together. And if you're sitting here and this feels pretty good, but you're not getting too much of a stretch, keep the pillow nice and close. You can come down onto your elbows. Use your hands to support your low back. Maybe lift your chest. And press your elbows down into your mat. If you want to stick your pillow underneath of your elbows, if you have bony elbows, want a little bit more cushion, you can do that as well. But really just allowing the stretch to the front side of your ankles, the tops of your feet. If at any time you feel any sharp pains, back out of the posture. You really just want to feel gentle stretches here. Might feel it a little bit in your quads too, if your quads are a bit tight. Just breathing into the front side of your feet. Anywhere you're feeling that tension. All right, and start to walk your way back out of it. Use your hands to support yourself. Come back into your tabletop. We're going to tap out the feet again. And then tuck your toes underneath. You can remove the blanket out from underneath of you. We're going to move into our flow now just to get the blood going before we make it down onto our mats again. And go ahead and place your pillow right on top of the blanket there. Come into a ragdoll pose, so step your feet hip-width distance apart. Grab for opposite elbows. And then just let your head hang heavy. Maybe shake it out. Getting any excess tension away from your shoulders and your neck here. If you're feeling this really intensely in the back of your legs, deepen the bend into your knees. You really want to feel this in your low spine here. Maybe bring a gentle sway side to side. And release your fingertips down to your mat. Toe heel your feet back together. Give just a little bit of space between your heels. On your inhale, rise one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Let your head be the very last to reach the top. And once you get there, slowly take some shoulder rolls up and back. Inhale as you rise, exhale, soften the shoulders. And soften, hands by your side. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep your arms up and overhead. Soften through your shoulders. Take another deep inhale. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. Exhale, standing back bend. Draw your arms into goal pose, so your elbows are in line with your shoulders, palms facing the sky. Lift your chest upward, press your hips forward, keep your core engaged. So you're lifting through your chest rather than dumping into your spine. So think of rising to the sky. And as you inhale, reach back up. Exhale, forward fold, hands through heart center, ride your breath, keep a nice long spine. And release your fingertips down to your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your fingertips to your shins. Lengthen your spine. Draw your shoulders in line with your hips. Create a nice long neck so the head of your body is reaching towards the side wall. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck and curl. Place your fingertips onto your mat. Deep bend into your knees. Rise to your toes. Round through your spine. So you're pressing the earth away. You really feel this right up in between your shoulder blades. Take another deep inhale. Breathe into that space between your shoulders. Exhale, release the heels down. Inhale, mountain pose, rise. Exhale, standing back bend, arms to goalpost. Lift the chest, press the hips forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tuck and curl. Inhale, mountain pose. This time, hold at the top. Grab your right, take your right hand, thumb and forefinger around the left wrist. As you inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, reach up and over towards the right side. Hold this posture and just breathe into it. You want to keep the spine nice and long here. So we're really reaching through the upper hand, the left hand here. Core engaged. Now inhale back through center, switch it out. Interlace your left forefinger and thumb around the right hand. On your inhale, reach up. Exhale, up and over, side bend. Breathe into the posture. Continue to seal your feet down into your mat. Inhale back to center, mountain pose. Exhale, standing back bend, lift the chest. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tuck and curl. Now from here, we're going to come into a forward fold, so just root your heels down onto your mat. Extend through the back side of your legs, and walk your feet and hands forward to the top of your mat. We're going to step back with your left leg, coming into a low lunge. From here, press your fingertips down into your mat, and lift up through your chest if you can. We're going to take a modified version of a crescent lunge here. So drop your back knee down onto your mat. Again, here, if you need a little bit extra support, your knees are sensitive or have prior injuries, you're more than welcome to grab that pillow and soften it right underneath of your knee. We're going to walk your hands up onto your thigh. Maybe interlace the fingers, keep the shoulders down. Pull your left hip forward and your right hip back. But sink down into your hips and then just find the alignment in the front. So you might need to walk your toes forward to get your heel in line with your knee. Breathe here. Maybe take it a little deeper if you want to lift your chest up. Getting a nice stretch through the front side of your quad, maybe your hip flexors. Breathing into any tension that you may feel here. So imagining that tension starting to release. Take one more inhale up, and on your exhale, half split. Press your fingertips back down into your mat. Start to hinge your hips back towards your heel. Flex your toes. Keep both hips level. A nice long spine. You feel this all the way through the hamstrings. And just try to soften the muscles here rather than holding on to the tension. Let it go. And breathe. Now, as you inhale, come back into your low lunge. We're going to step the back foot in, so remove that pillow if you put it down there. Coming into a little triangle pose. Step the back foot in so that your heel can rest down onto your mat. Lengthen through both of your legs. Keep a nice long torso. And just hinge forward. So you should feel this right through the back side of your right leg. If you need a little extra support, just can't quite reach the ground here, you can fold your pillow and your blanket by either side and utilize those as props to bring the earth a little closer to you. And breathe. One more full round of breath here. Then begin to parallel your feet. I'm actually going to rotate to face you guys, but you'll be rotating around back. So you're going to rotate your toes so they're both parallel to each other, just like this. But for sake of video, I'll face you here. You don't have to stare at my rear. So coming into a wide-legged forward fold. You can walk your feet out just wherever it's comfortable that you can get a nice forward fold here. Feel free to shake out your head again if that feels good, just relieving the tension from your body. And letting your hands just hang heavy. Maybe wrap around the outside of your ankles, whatever's comfortable. Give yourselves a couple breaths here. Now from here, we're going to continue to walk your toes around towards the other side so that your left foot is in front. I'm going to switch and rotate myself back to the same direction that you are, so this isn't as confusing. So we're here to start to rotate the toes. Find your lunge once again. If you need the pillow as you did on the other side, feel free to grab that. Come down onto your knee and find that hip flexor stretch. Be mindful again of the knee and the ankles, so maybe walk the toes forward if you need to. Rise up off of your thigh. When you're feeling steady into the posture, maybe begin to press into your thigh with both hands and lift your chest towards the sky. Be mindful that your right hip is in line with your left, so rather than twisting and opening the body, try to close your hips so that they're evenly facing front. And lift the chest rather than dump into the spine. Continue to breathe. Draw your belly in just to help support your low spine. I have that issue where my spine likes to give, so I have to be very aware of always holding my belly to support it. And take it into the half split on your next exhale. Round forward. Start to sit your hips back toward your heel. Flex through your front toes. Find that space where you can sit comfortably, not too much pressure into your hamstrings. Try to focus on releasing tension rather than holding on to it. Staying connected to your deep breaths, even inhales and exhales, just tuning back in. And as you inhale, coming back into your lunge, remove the pillow out from under if you utilized it. Step your back foot in, moving into triangle pose again. So come as far in as you need to that you can set your back heel down onto your mat. Lengthen through both legs. And if you needed to on the other side, you're more than welcome to grab your pillow and your blanket for support on either side of your front leg. Bring the pillow or bring the earth just closer to you so that it's easier to keep your stability here. Continue to draw your right hip forward, left hip back, and feel the stretch through the hamstring. Holding for about 5 breaths here. No cheating by breathing faster. And then once you're done, just starting to walk back just as we did before. So walking your toes so that they're both parallel towards each other for another wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to face you guys again. This time taking an option to find a little twist. So ground your left hand down into your mat. Extend your right arm up to the sky. Option to twist through the torso. You're trying to stack both shoulders, one on top of the other here, creating a flat spine. And release that side down, switch it out, plant your right palm, extend your left arm to the sky. And release that down. Taking another variation, reach your hands through your legs. Maybe start to draw your torso closer. And come back to center. Continue to walk around back to the original direction that we were facing. So I'm going to switch this so that it's easy for you guys again. We're here. Now walk the toes back over here. Find yourself into another little forward fold. Take a nice deep inhale. Halfway lift. On your exhale, tuck and curl, then find your way all the way down into a seated position. You can just gather your props on either side of you again. Walk the meat out from under your sit bones. Take a forward fold. So inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. We're going to go with a nice long spine as low as you can go until you feel resistance. Stop there. Let your arms just fall. If you'd like extra support, again, your pillow comes in handy. Can either place it on your lap and do your arms this way, or if you'd really like a restorative posture here, can flip your pillow long ways, rest your chin, and just relax. Breathe into the posture here. Trying to create a nice long spine. For sake of the mic, I won't hold it there. But just finding a comfortable space where you can feel the stretch gently in your body, not too much pressure, and just breathe. And each inhale, you're trying to find just a little bit more length, a little bit more angle to the hips, reaching the top of your head toward your toes. And with each exhale, you're just trying to soften through the tension a little more. And imagine the fresh air from your inhale flowing right into any areas of tension. Just kind of visualize that breaking it up. So as you exhale, it releases through the tension. We're here for about another 5 or 6 breaths. If you need to create more space in your body, draw your low belly in. As you inhale, you can find the length. And as you exhale with the low belly engaged, you can soften just a little deeper. If you do have any sciatic issues here, feeling a lot of tension in your low, in your sit bones or underneath your hamstrings or the backside of your knees, feel free to create just a little bit of a bend in your knees here. That's perfectly okay too. You could even place the pillow underneath the knees to act as a bolster if you need a little bit of that bend support, and then maybe utilize your blanket on top. All right, as you inhale, come back up to seated. Release the bolster if you used it underneath of your knees. Move your right leg to the right corner of your mat. Draw your left foot to your inner thigh. And rotate your torso over your thighs. Take a nice deep inhale, lift up. On your exhale, bow forward. Try to keep both shoulders facing straight down to the mat. Again, here, if you're tight in the hamstrings or dealing with a little sciatic pain, a little bend into your knee is totally fine. And if you want to layer the props back in for more support here, a little bit more comfort, you're more than welcome to. Just fold the pillow as you need to, or stack the blanket and the pillow, just to get the level of support that you need to sit and breathe into the posture for about 5 or 6 breaths. Inhale, start to rise back up. Release the pillow, switch it out, extend your left leg. Draw your right leg into your inner thigh. Again, settle yourself, remove any meat out from under your sit bones, rotate your torso, inhale, lift up. And on your exhale, bow forward. If you need to utilize the props again, you're more than welcome. Draw the pillow just over your thighs, or maybe layer in the blanket, whatever level feels best to you, where you can support your chest over your thighs, just to make it a little bit more comfortable, a little more passive in the posture. And keep a nice flex into your toes. Inhale, rise back up. Relieve your props over to the side. We're going to switch into a straddle pose. So extend both legs out. Just again, if you're really tight on your inner thighs, your groin muscles, just take the V as best as you can here without too much of your strain onto the inner thighs. Gonna keep a nice flex into your toes as you inhale, lift up. And exhale, just start to walk your hands forward. Once you find that point of resistance, bringing in your props as you need to, again, just to build up that support level so it's a little bit more passive in your body and you're able to hold onto the posture for just a few 5 or 6 breaths. Just another full round of breath here. And we're going to slowly walk over towards your right leg. And sweep your arm out and overhead. Nice side body stretch. Again, paying attention to your tailbones. Make sure that both sit bones are glued down onto your mat. If one started to lift up, then just back out of the posture a little bit so you can seal both down into your mat. Continue to flex through your feet and adjust your pillows as you need to. You may need to give your side a little support if that feels good. Try to keep your shoulders nice and soft. Inhale, finding length, and on your exhale, softening. And walk your hands around the front over to the other side. Adjusting as you need to with your pillow if you want to utilize it for support into your side body or for your arm. Keeping a nice flex to your toes, knees raised up towards the ceiling. Both sit bones glued onto your mat. This restorative yoga will give you a nice full body rinse. So we're going all the way from head to toe, getting rid of all the kinks, any stagnant energy, any stagnant air, all the usual spots that our day-to-day life tends to create tension in. And the good thing about this being on video is that you don't have the full hour and a half each time. You can go to just your favorite spots in the video or the postures that really help with your specific tension. Utilize those for the time that you have. You'll also have the sound bath available to you as needed. Inhale, rise back up to the center and start to bounce out your knees. You can relieve your pillow and your blanket out of the way. Bounce the knees. Just relieve some of the tension from the back of your legs after all that stretching. We're going to come into a pigeon pose. So from here, place a bend into your right knee. Flex your toes very strongly in this posture. You're going to take your left leg and cross it up and over so that your shins overlap. This may look really crazy. If your hips are a little bit tighter, you're going to have a big gap here. And if that is the case, you can fold your blanket up into a nice little square here and just utilize it underneath of that knee for support. Fold it as much as you need to so that it supports in a space that's not a whole lot of tension for you. And we're just going to sit here for a minute. So make sure that you're comfortable, as uncomfortable as this posture is. So wherever you need that to be, just breathe. If it feels good, you can press into your feet, kind of giving them a little press back. Really important to keep the toes flexed here just to protect your knees. That'll keep you from being able to maneuver in any way that might tweak them or injure them. And if you're feeling really good here, you've got nice and open hips, and you can start to hinge forward in this posture just a bit. Maybe start to walk your hands forward. And then just soften down. Another great posture if you sit at a desk or just sit in general, whether it's driving or wherever you may be, starts to work the outsides of the hips. A place that we don't give a lot of love to very often. We're going to be here for about another 6 breaths or so just settle in. Come back to that visualization, sending that fresh air. Maybe it looks like a white light to you, but sending it right into that area of tension and imagining it breaking up that tension so that for the exhale, it can be washed and relieved on its way. If you're leaned forward like I am here and you want a little extra support, you're always welcome to draw the blanket or the pillow, either one, your preference, up under the arms. Just really focusing on finding a soft space to breathe. Breathing through the tension, but again, just gentle pressure. Try not to overstretch your body, just to the point where you feel a little bit of resistance, and hold there. If at any time it starts to feel like too much pressure, just back out of the posture a little bit, find a new level, readjust the props. It's totally fine to readjust if needed. Just 2 more breaths here. And we're going to release the legs out and do an opposition pose. So just bring your feet down onto your mat or out in front of you. We're going to windshield wiper just to release the hips, side to side. Let your other hip lift off of your mat. So we're really just massaging the space that we were just stretching. Always a little reward after a tough posture. All right, so then take it back to center. We're going to switch it out. So this time, bring your right shin in, flex your toes. Left shin in, flex your toes. Opposite side as we just did. And reach your right foot up and over. Shins parallel to each other here. Again, if your knee is lifted up off of your foot, option to layer in either the blanket folded as many times as needed or the pillow, whichever one is more supportive for you and gets the right width. You could even do both if you need to, but focusing on keeping both of your hips down into your mat. Nice long spine, just breathe into it. You're probably a little bit tighter on one side than the other, and that's totally okay. Really just working here to gently stretch evenly both sides of your hips. And we're going to release back out of this posture, same as we did on the other side. Plant your palms or your feet down onto your mat. Windshield wiper it out. And massage your hips. And we're going to rotate back onto our mat here. And scoot your hips up towards your heels. Really starting to take the supine variation now. So you can get your pillow pressed just right into your low back so that we'll have it there for support. Make sure that your blanket is nearby too, just in case you want to utilize that. And we're going to rotate all the way down onto your spine. Walk your heels in towards your hips. Just let your hands rest on your belly for a minute. If you want to, this is a supported bridge pose, so if you're wanting to deepen this just a little bit, you have the option to layer your blanket underneath of your hips as well, to give a little bit more arch into the spine. And from here, option to walk your heels to the outside of your mat and let your knees connect together. But just breathe. And then on your next inhale, legs up the wall pose. So continuing that support underneath of your hips, just let your hands kind of rest out on your mat. Extend both legs up to the sky. And try to lengthen through the back of your knees as much as you can here. Keep your tailbone down toward your mat and your low spine protected. Drawing your belly in and up. Just breathe into this posture. Could even wiggle yourself up against a wall if that's a little bit more support than holding your legs in the air. Or if you'd like to stay where you are, you can also wrap your hands around your thighs and utilize that as a little bit of support too. This posture is really great for stress relief and anxiety as well. Also good for those that stand on their feet all day long. That helps to bring the circulation back down into your heart. And if you are holding your thighs, just make sure that you're able to soften through your shoulders rather than rounding and tensing. And try to bring as much softness into your torso as you can. And while we're sitting here, you can start to point one foot and flex the other. You should feel this all the way up your shins, just depending how tight you are. And switch it out into the other foot, bringing a nice flex
and point and switch. Just doing this at your own pace as it feels good for you. And draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Maybe rock from side to side. Just massage your low spine here. Giving your kidneys a little massage too. And re-extend your right leg towards the sky. Put a nice flex. Extend your left leg out and down toward your mat. You should feel this a little in your hip flexor because we still have this support under your tailbone or under your low back. And just hold this here. Maybe take some circles with your ankles. I'm trying to find movement and release any cracks or tension building up in this space. We tend to get really stiff through our ankles. And switch it out to the other direction. If it feels good to you, you're able to slowly let your right leg drop toward your mat. You can continue to hold the pressure just on the back side of your thigh to help control. Or if it helps to press your left hip down into your mat for that added support so you keep your back onto your mat, you can use your left hand to support that area. As you inhale, come back through the center. Draw your knees back into your chest. Rock side to side. Give yourself another little massage. And switch out your legs. Extend the left leg towards the sky. Reach your right leg down to your mat. Dig your heel into the ground. Utilize your hands to support and trying to keep your left leg as straight as possible, but knowing that you may need to have just a little bit of a bend if you're really tight in your hamstrings here. And taking the rolls with your ankle as you did on the other side. Trying to soften through your shoulders. Switch it out to the other side or other direction. And then begin to extend your left leg out to open through your hips. Maybe bring the right hand to gently press into your hip to keep it stabilized. And Inhale back through the center. Bring both knees in. This time, let your knees fall out wide. We're going to take just little circles with the knees in opposite directions. So you should feel this just on the outside of your hips a little bit, maybe. Massaging your low spine, your tailbone. And take it to the other direction. Draw your knees back in. We're going to place your feet down onto your mat for just a moment. Lift back up to remove your props out from underneath of you. And as you bring your knees back in towards your chest, grab either your pillow or your blanket, whichever you prefer. You're going to place it right in between your knees. And then if you want to grab the pillow or whichever prop you haven't used, and place it underneath of your head, just to keep you nice and supported here. And we're going to rotate over to the left side and stack your hips up on top with the support of the pillow or the blanket in between your knees. And just let your knees and shoulder drop towards your mat and rest your hands on your belly. Breathe here. Taking about 6 breaths in this posture. And if you'd like to get a little bit more of a stretch through your outer hips, you're still feeling maybe a little tension there, you can extend the top leg out. So just straighten through the leg. Letting gravity do all the work here. You just breathe. And slowly starting to rebend in the knee if you extended it. Come back in through the center. Switch it out. Scoot onto your right hip. Drop your knees to the side. Let your left shoulder just drop to your mat. And breathe. Taking another 6 breaths on this side. If you extended the leg on the other side, just go ahead and extend here. And place a bend back into your knee. Begin to bring your knees back up towards the sky. Remove the prop out from in between your legs. And take a Supta Baddha Konasana. Draw the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. Just breathe here. Maybe one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. It's a great posture to say lots of good things to yourself. Maybe start a gratitude list of all the things that you are thankful for within your body today. Even if it's the smallest things. And gently start to draw your knees together. Close them like a book. You can use your hands to support the outside of your thighs. Bring your knees back into your chest. Again, let them fall out wide. Happy baby pose. Send the soles of your feet to the sky. Capture the insides or outsides of your ankles. Maybe reach for your heels if you can. And gently let your knees drop toward your mat. Sink your tailbone in towards the earth. You can stay here, maybe bring a little sway side to side. Thinking about a blissful baby here. They love to just roll around and play. You're able to do the same at the end of your practice. Just finding gratitude for how your body is feeling now versus how you felt at the start of class. Maybe extending both legs out wide. Whatever feels good to you right now, you could stay just as we started in this posture. And then draw your knees in. Give yourself one last big hug. Thank yourself for making it to your mat. Taking time for your practice, your body, listening to what it needed. And take a nice deep inhale breath in. And an open mouth exhale, Shavasana. Let your arms and your legs fall wherever they like on your mat. Maybe take this time to unwrap your blanket, place it over you, get nice and cozy, as comfortable as you will. You'll be here for a little while. I'm going to tune into the sound bowls as you rest and restore. As you're ready, I encourage you to start to wiggle through your fingers and your toes. Just gently starting to bring some life back into your bodies. Start to roll out your wrists and your ankles. Give a shift of your head from side to side. And when you're ready, gently roll to your favorite side for supported fetal pose. Use your lower arm as a pillow, your upper arm for support, just to stabilize your body. And take a moment here just to thank yourself for your practice, for taking this time to unwind, to de-stress, honor your body. And when you're ready to rise, come to a comfortable seated position. Hands at heart center. The light that resides within me honors, acknowledges, and loves the light that resides within each of you. Reach up to the sky, lift up, take a deep inhale breath. Open mouth, exhale, bow forward in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed class today. We'll have more of these coming soon. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and let me know any feedback. I'd love to hear it. Enjoy the rest of your evening.